Hey, this is Viz, Levittown delegate to the Philadelphia skateboarding scene. I'm here at my friend Rich's old house in Japan, where he turned into an alcoholic because he was too lazy to drink water. He used to be a pro for traffic, but now he manages their Instagram account. But you should still give him respect. He back nose one at this gnarly ledge at Love way back when it was still cool to skate there. Sit back and enjoy this interview with my friend Rich Adler, the traffic pro.
Start this thing.
All right. Well, welcome back to Citywide Podcast. As is tradition, we'll start it off with a Citywide, something local to Philadelphia, shot and a beer.
Cheers, boys.
Not that groundbreaking of a concept, but something we can claim. Our guest today is Rich Adler.
Ooh. What's up, Rich? What's going on?
Yeah, how you doing?
Well, I'm chilling, you know.
What'd you get into today?
I was canning some beer, putting beer in cans, and
nice.
You know,
It's
day
a good
in,
place
day
for
out.
beer to go.
It is. So, enjoying some beer, but
Well, thanks for taking the time to come in, and sure this is probably the last thing you wanted to do after a 14-hour workday, but we appreciate the time.
We got you.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here, man.
Yeah, we
And
treat you to some Nocturnal brand cinnamon whiskey.
Oh, that cinnamon whiskey is tasting pretty good, though. It's pretty smooth going down. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
happy,
hell of an
feeling
endorsement. So
you grew up in Delco, correct?
Delco, Delaware County, Pennsylvania.
Lenai?
That's correct. I'm from Media.
Media,
Media,
okay.
I guess
Media.
represent. Media
Media.
locals represent.
So how'd you get into skating?
A friend of the family had a skateboard, and a friend of the family named Danny Nevins was a skateboarder, and he gave me one of his old skateboards, one of those dragon boards with the Veriflex Dragon, I think. Or
oh, nice. All right.
maybe it was a Nash. I don't know. It was a
Oh,
little
shit.
Yeah.
narrow guy with a dragon on the bottom
Those
and
seem
just
to
a
be
tail.
the
And
starters.
I was pushing around on one knee.
How old were you?
Like 7 or 8, but then
Okay.
but then later on I bought my first board when I was 11 at Cool Runnings out in Ardmore.
That
I think
is a sick name.
Yeah, that's a sick name for a shop.
What was the first setup?
it was a Pal Peralta. It was like a blank with like a picture of an airplane on the bottom of it. I think it was like a Corsair or something like that.
Cool. All right.
With some like maybe 49 millimeter wheels.
Husky.
Was Cool Runnings, was that like a core shop or was that
It was
just...
a skateboard, snowboard shop that
Okay.
was near where my brother bowled, and my mother would always drive him to bowling. And I knew about the skateboard shop, and I was like, yeah, what kind of want to go? And next thing you know, I spent all my savings on the skateboard. My
Nice.
mother and father were a little bit pissed at me, but
That's a wise
Best
investment.
decision you ever made, probably.
Yeah.
yeah, it was $120 or something like that for a new setup, but
Damn.
I got a lot of mileage out of it and re-gripped it a few times and started standing up and pushing on the thing for
Yeah.
real and going down hills and that kind of stuff and
It's-
waxing curbs.
It's crazy. I feel like $120 for a setup is still not
still
too
pretty-
far from what it
Yeah,
costs for
it's
like a
about what
full setup today.
Yeah. Inflation hasn't changed.
Hasn't
The price of
touched a
skate-
skateboard.
Yeah, it's wild how that still works.
Well, I guess skateboards are probably cheaper now because back in the day, $120 was a lot of money. Like I remember getting in a lot of
yeah.
trouble. It was like I won $200 when I was like a little kid in a raffle, and I was like, "You spent $120 on a
The
board?"
first couple boards I had, my parents were so salty when they didn't understand that it was like a destructive activity, like that the board would wear down. Same with shoes too. They'd never understood that. So I would like really baby my setups when I was younger. Like I wouldn't skid or I wouldn't I remember trying to learn board slides and just looking at the board like, fuck, I guess I gotta.
Mom's gonna be so pissed.
Yeah, I mean they figured it out eventually, but like I don't know, they don't understand what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. So did you eventually get into a crew in like middle school or high school with kids?
One of the early inspirations was that dude Andrew Freeborn that does that
No
that board
shit.
company Spectrum.
Shout out Spectrum.
Yeah.
Damn, that's sick.
Shout out
Hell
to
yeah.
Spectrum.
Shout out Spectrum.
Yeah, we
That's so
we would
sick.
bring ramps
That's so
to.
sick.
We had an elementary school nearby. It was called Indian Lane. They had some benches and stuff.
Oh,
And we would skate there. You know,
classic
Indian Lane?
spot. It has the bench, and then you think you can hit the second one in a line, but it's so quick after you land. And it has the other concrete bench right after.
Well, it's been rearranged since back in the day,
okay.
but you know.
As of 5 years ago, that's what
It used to
like.
be better. There used to be more benches outside, but they moved.
There is a can there you can throw on the ground though, and they do have nice ground. At least there is now.
I don't know about the can on the ground, but that's amazing that you know about this spot. But we waxed the shit out of the front curb. But
That's
anyway,
it.
yeah, we waxed it, and we did forge a rivalry with the janitors there.
Oh shit.
We had nicknames for all the janitors. There was Fat Fuck and Irish Fuck and all these different fucks because they would all kick us out. But
Yeah.
What age is this at?
this was like 11, 12.
Damn.
Yeah. Guys are already reckless.
Yeah, I think I have
That's
footage
what-
of those
that's what
guys
Del-
moving the benches.
That's
like,
what Delco's
out.
like. Delco's like, man.
Fuck them. I mean, when you're younger, you're always talking shit to like security or whatever. I mean, there's always a
you
little
don't
back
care.
and
Yeah,
forth.
you're like, you're
Yeah.
stopping me from doing what I want to do. Fuck
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't really personally hate him at this point, but I think back in the day,
You guys
like, I
have
really
made
hated
amends,
him.
you
I
guys
really
have-
didn't like him. Like they would kick us out, and there was no place to go after that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was kind of
So
like
there were no skate parks or anything, or no? Is this like skate park era? I feel like I guess now today, like everywhere there's a skate park, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise. But
I feel like there were opportunities to skate at skate parks, but like I was kind of like, I don't know, like what am I gonna get my parents to drive me to the skate park? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
when you're
my
11,
older
you're
brother
not-
played ice hockey, and my parents were kind of burned out on driving people to. Driving
a lot of activities
to
going on.
activities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was the youngest in my family, so
were you into anything
What's
else
going on?
that like skateboarding took the place of? Like you said, your brother bowled, ice hockey. Were you into any of those things at all either, or
back in the day I used to ride bikes. Be like, yeah, hey guys, you want to ride bikes?
BMXer,
And
or
not like it
Okay.
wasn't serious
Just like
like
ride
that.
bikes
it was
around
like,
the
Yeah.
it was
neighborhood.
like, hey, you want to ride bikes?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
go to the
cool.
convenience store, buy a soda, you know, try to find a
Shit.
jump somewhere, and you know, just
yeah,
screwing around. Kind of gives you an excuse to like just be out and about, like
Yeah.
enjoying yourself.
well, that's
out on
what
the streets.
skateboarding is too. Is just kind of
No, don't get the wrong impression. I wasn't like big into it. It was just like, hey, let's ride bikes.
Yeah,
you
what
know,
else
you
we're just
gonna
out,
do?
just
Yeah,
like hitting
yeah.
like a wood chip pile, you know, trying to fly out of it, and
this is like pre-iPhone or whatever, so pre-internet.
it was
So,
You
riding
had to
bikes.
be outside to do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
And,
parents
like-
would yell at you, "Go outside. Get out of here."
Check on the roof at Indian Lane, like if there was like a basketball up there.
Oh,
or something,
yeah.
like, climb up there and like try to come up on it, or like a dodgeball, you know,
Damn,
climb
alright.
up and get it.
So how did you like stick with skating? It seems like I don't know, at least for me personally, like when I was like growing up in a small town in like whatever Northwest Jersey, we had like a crew that was skating, and then it kind of fizzles out. So did you ever go through anything like that? Like did your friends stick with it, or when did you like kind of start getting into I guess like the cultural aspect of it, like watching videos or seeing like
It was
I
like
don't
the
know.
first video that you saw, and you were like, "I
Yeah.
want to do this.
Yeah.
Give me a camera."
when it like transcends being just something you fuck around with, something that you're gonna, you know, invest serious time and effort into.
I didn't think there was ever a point where I was like, let me invest my life into this, but it was like, it was
Yeah,
like,
it seems to just kind of happen.
hey, you know, I want to go out and hang out with friends, like riding bikes changed into like, hey, let's go skateboard, you know what I mean? And then let's go skateboard changed into like me having a ramp or two and bringing them up to Indian Lane on the weekends and asking my buddies to come out, and Andrew Freeborn would show up and do some pressure flips, and you know, his homie was ollie and switch out of the thing and doing grabs, and we'd set up a bread crate on its side, and you know, we'd have a lot of fun, but probably when it really solidified was when we started to come down to Philly. You know, when I one of my friends in media had a connection in Lansdowne,
Okay.
and then that guy knew about Philly. So the first time I came to Philly, I took a train to Lansdowne, and then walked to 69th Street Terminal, and then took the L train to Center City, and then skated Center City, and then came back to Lansdowne, and then came back to Upper Darby, 69th Street, and then walked to Lansdowne Station, and then took the train back to my family's house, and got in a bunch of trouble because my friend had a really paranoid mother that called my mother, and I was 14, you know. And,
Oh damn! So you're pretty young, like the first time you came to the city. Are you cruising through or what? Got Brandon John here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, bad boy.
Gonna take a guest shot. That was eloquent.
Traffic alumni.
Owner of Kinetic and Nocturnal. Later, Brandon.
Yeah, we went to Love Park. It was New Year's Eve, 1996, and
Wow.
we came into Philly, and it was raining, and I found out, it was go off the levels, you could do all this stuff,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I was like, this is 3 stairs, I could try to frontside flip off them or something like that, and I was trying to frontside flip. The ground was really slippery, but goddamn, it was a lot of fun, It's always a pain in the ass, you think about it, like, I'm going to take the train down to Philly and do this,
Yeah.
but, always looking back, it was always a lot of fun.
After that
day.
trip, was it on for you? You were
Yeah.
like, I want to do this. I'm going to go here every day.
Yeah, it was not every day. It was a weekend warrior kind of
Weekend
situation,
warrior. Okay,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? But yeah, I definitely made an effort to recruit friends and stuff like that, and come down to Philly. And
Do you remember anyone that was there?
Yeah, were people
the day
really
that you were
skating
there?
love like that back then?
I feel like there was one moment. It wasn't the first day that I was there, but there was one time that the cops chased us out of there, and one of my buddies grabbed like some pair of shoes that was sitting there, and I think it was Vern, my buddy. I know Vern now. And I think it was Vern's pair of shoes, and Vern came and was like, "Yo, man, you steal my shoes!" It was a set of Adidas, It
Shelter?
might not have been Vern. I don't know. I was too young at the time. But one of my homies was like running from the cops and was like, "Go, set of shoes!"
Yeah,
you know what I
finding
mean? And
keys.
somebody
Yeah,
stopped
dude.
us, and it might have been Vern, but yeah, we the dude gave the shoes back. But yeah, we also liked around Wawa. That red building, there was that red ledge.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
now skate stopped, and across the street
the
from
spot
that.
they skate stop, then people still skated at skate
Yeah.
stop, and then they skate stop the skate stop.
Yeah,
Trip
they skate
spot.
the skate stop, the skate stoppers. But across the street from that, there was a metal curb that went down the hill, and like kind of went around the curb. It was kind of fun to skate.
Was that before Comcast was built there?
Yes,
Wow.
it was.
It's hard to imagine a time before
Yeah.
benevolent overlords.
West Philly was always fun. You know what I mean? I get off at University C Station and skate
Oh,
down
yeah.
skate down to Center City. And
Penn,
Yeah, where would you guys skate around in West Philly? Did you skate University City at all, like the colleges over there?
yeah, we'd basically get off at University City Station and then make our way to Center City and
Nice.
go to Love.
Yeah, it's a solid skate. There's a lot of shit to hit over there. There's like
Lot
that
of-
blue
lot of
bar
gems,
at Drexel.
Yeah, the
like,
Blue
right-
Bar is still there. How
Blue
about
Bar's-
that? What
Blue
a
Bar
great
stands-
little spot
yeah.
there,
Love
you know?
Park, dust. Blue Bar,
Yeah,
still there.
3 Block gone. All Philly's iconic spots are getting torn down, but Blue Bar
Blue
has
Bar
remained.
stands the test of time.
Occasionally there's like a bike locked up to it, but other than that, it ain't going anywhere. So knock on wood.
Yeah, no, the Blue Bar is a classic, but always loved skating West Philly and finding new stuff and driving around. Even when I was a kid on the school bus, just looking out the window and seeing the different hills and stuff like that. Imagining people BMXing. Like I watched E.T. when I was a kid, and people launching out of stuff on BMX bikes. And yeah, I mean, it brought me down to Center City, and I had a lot of fun. Around my 16th birthday one time, I ended up hanging out with Booze, who's still alive, and drank a little bit too much vodka and passed out on the train. My mother had to pick me up at the train station. That was a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm sure she was excited to find
Yeah,
you that way.
and I think I spent 2 months not going to Philly after that. But, yeah, they were understanding. They knew, that I was in it for the right reasons, but every now and again.
Yeah,
People
there are worse
mess up.
things you could be getting into. So, especially in Philly, shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
you definitely could have taken some worse paths, but everything's good.
So when did Jack and Rick and all of them come into play? When did you meet them in the city, or was there like a time period where you were looking up to them and then you eventually met them? How did that work?
Well, Ricky's always been a legend. You get the Sub-Zero
Facts.
video, and you got Ricky.
You
Ricky
did?
coming in the Sub-Zero.
No? Yes? Anyone else?
I'll take another one,
Okay.
sure.
I mean, we're in this together, right?
True.
Yeah.
This is true, my friend.
You're helping us
But
out.
no, Ricky's a good guy, and I didn't really know him back in the day, and it was kind of intimidating because you seen the Sub-Zero video, and the guy was kind of scary. You know what I mean? Like,
So you when you saw the Sub-Zero video, you didn't meet him at that point. You didn't know him.
I didn't know him, no, but I did have the Sub-Zero video, and I did like to watch it. But first time I saw him was at Sub-Zero. He came in. I think he had some kind of back problems for a little while and didn't skate
Sure, of course.
around the time.
Salute.
Around the time that I was skating, from '96 to maybe '99 or so, Ricky wasn't really skating. I think he had some kind of lower back problems or some kind of back.
Oh, yeah, he
disc.
talked about that in his episode later. Yeah.
Like, I heard about it. I didn't ever personally talk to him about it. So, Rick, I apologize if there was no back problem. But I heard there was a back problem. And, yeah, after he came back from Australia, when I guess he was in Australia for a while, he got in some trouble. And then he came back to the United States. A guy named Andre Turer that I was friends with started taking photos using a Hasselblad, like a...
Great camera.
Like a 60 millimeter film, I guess is what it is. And he was really awesome because he worked at a print shop. So he was printing photos and shooting them. So we'd shoot photos together, and my photos weren't that good. They wouldn't be in magazines, but this dude would give me a print, like a 8x12 print of the photo. You know what I mean?
Prints.
So we'd go and skate, and then a week later he'd be like, hey, here's prints from these photos that we took, and they'd be awesome. I mean, Andre Turer knew what he was doing. He was, I guess he was more like of a catalog photographer, professionally.
Yeah.
But, like, he really loved skateboarding. I'm sure he still does, you know what I mean? I don't know if... Andre, what's up, man? Love you, dude. Anyway, he was down. We'd go skating every week, or more than, we would be skating all the time, and he would give me prints. And when Ricky came back from Australia, Ricky shot a couple of photos with Andre, and that was kind of one of the first things that Ricky came out with. I think he did an ollie over the tail side at a parking garage, like over the wall, tail side, something that he had 50-50 in the Eastern Exposure video. I think it's on 12th and Chestnut, somewhere around there. And so he had that photo published, and then he had, like, there was an AM issue at Transworld, and Andre had, like, an interview in it. Like, he's, like, an up-and-coming photographer.
Oh, that's cool.
And I had a backside 50-50 at the Broad and Gerard School, like the 17 stair, like, Hubble ledge.
Oh,
that
shit.
when I was 17.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
So
sick.
that was my photo
Iconic.
in there.
Was that your first photo in a magazine or anything like that?
No, my first photo was with a dude named Frankie. Frankie
Oh,
Frankie
shit.
had a lot of photos. I
Yes.
ollied over the chain at Love Park to backlip, like back when they had the chain between the pillars.
Oh,
Ollied
yeah.
over the chain.
Sick.
Yeah. We
and
were,
backlip was sequence.
I think it was a Logic video. You do a line with like a back 180 over it or something like that.
That's
we were
exactly the
Yeah, we
same
were watching
spot.
that earlier. Wow, that's sick. Yeah, that dude Frankie. I guess this is a little sidebar. When I used to work here at Nocturnal, where we're shooting this episode, shout out to them. He came in and was like reminiscing over like old photos and whatnot, and then Luke, who was managing at the time, was like, "Do you have any idea who that was? Like, do you know what that dude shot?" Because he's like, "Oh, I haven't like been into skating in a while." But yeah, it's awesome. I follow him on Instagram now. It's so cool
He
to
is the
see like
sickest
the old
Instagram. He posts
like
sickest old
stuff
stuff.
from those days. It's really sick.
I run into. Well, I don't run into him because I don't know him personally, but I see him on Passyunk all the time.
That's cool.
Because now he renovates bars and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah. He
Seems
does
like
like contractor work, and he's busy. He's keeping busy. But yeah, Frankie was a big part of, like, if where I am today in skateboarding or whatever. Not that there's anything real to it, but it was like something that permanent that we had created was shooting photos with Frankie, and
Yeah, it's awesome.
he was there for a lot of the greatest moments in my skateboarding. Yeah, imagine like getting a photo in Thrasher doing an ollie over a chain to backlit. Like nowadays, I think it's hard to get a photo in Thrasher, but back in the day, like ollie over the chain, backlip on the ledge, get a photo.
That's
in
a
Thrasher.
sick trick, and if you can photograph anything, and if the photo is cool, it doesn't matter. Like, even like a flat ground trick, like if it's set well, if like it's a cool background or whatever, like it doesn't matter. Like I don't know, it doesn't matter if you're like Smith grinding like a 30 stair rail. Like that photo sounds way cooler than like whatever. I don't know. No disrespect to Thrasher, but I mean.
Well, here's the funny story about that photo. There was a caption. Frankie said like, "Rich Adler is good at skating and he gets all the girls." What he was trying to do was redeem himself after this shit show that we had up in upstate New York. So when I was 16, we went on a tour. It was a company called Philadelphia Experiment. Vern Laird was the team manager.
Fuck,
And Kelly Ryan was up there. Kelly Ryan was a OG photographer. The dude took the best photos and has been around for a while. He knew how to skate vert. And we went up to Boston with Kelly Ryan and Damien and
Damien Smith.
Vern was there. Damien Smith was there.
Nice.
Yeah, Vern and the whole Philadelphia Experiment team. Brandon John was up there. Brandon John he'll collaborate the story next time he comes in here. You want to ask him about it. But,
next episode.
Yeah.
So what happened was we were up at some skate shop called Fat City with a PH.
Nice.
Sick.
Okay, so
Off to a good start.
this was like when fat was like that's fat. You know, so this guy had a shop called Fat City. Cool as shit. The guy was really nice. You know, I don't really remember what his name was, but
I don't think he's listening, so I don't think he'll be offended.
You might be surprised. But, this dude introduced us to some local girls.
Oh.
Damn.
These girls
She's
were
really
like,
hooking you guys
we're
up.
like, hey, we're going to go to Niagara Falls, you know. So next thing you know, I'm in the car with these people, and we went up to Niagara Falls, and we're hanging out and all this stuff. Me and Damien, you know, like I'm 16, I'm like trying to hook up with chicks, and we were hanging out with these girls at like I guess we were at their parents' house, and I was like, hey, like, you guys have, like, some cool place to, like, look at the stars or something? And they're like, yeah, actually, we do. And I was like, yeah, you know, like, looks like there's an opportunity coming up. There's an opportunity on the horizon, you know? And we started walking out, and the van pulls up, and everyone's like, we're going back to Philly. And I was like, you know, hey, guys, just a minute, you know, we're going to hang out for another 30 minutes or something like that. And, no, everybody was going back to Philly. You know, we're going back. It's a long drive. Everyone's got to be home. Everyone's got to go to work. And things seemed to be working out, but, you know, things fell apart pretty quickly. And next thing you know, there was me and Damien and a skinny blonde girl and a fat chick. And
Thick.
it came time, thick, voluptuous.
Voluptuous, that's a good one.
Curvy.
Yeah, we'll go with voluptuous.
Curvy. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, there was like this awkward goodbye time, and the van was behind us, and me and Damien were standing there, and these two girls were standing there, and we're like, all right, well, I was thinking like maybe I could score a kiss, you know what I mean? I don't know. And out of the van, somebody says, "Who's gonna kiss the fat chick?" And me and Damien are just like, oh, okay. Okay, guys. We're out of here. And it was probably Frankie. It was probably Frankie that said it. Frankie, it's probably you. But if it wasn't Frankie, I apologize for that. But
Sorry, fat
yeah,
girl.
nobody ended up kissing anybody. Everybody just got back in the van and drove back to Philly, kind of pissed off. But
Must have been a salty car ride.
it was the whole thing was salty. Just from the beginning. But anyway, moving on.
Well, I guess you mentioned Philadelphia Experiment. I guess we kind of jumped around a little bit, but I guess how did like the sponsorship thing come about? I mean, nowadays everybody's just like DMing companies like, yo, let me get shit for free. But like back then, I mean, were you sending tapes out to people? Did it just happen organically? Like how did that come about?
I don't know. I was doing like lip slide to 50-50 on the levels, you know what I mean? I was tearing it up, and Vern Laird, he's like, hey, you want to be on the Philadelphia Experiment team? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm down, you know? And
As simple as
it
that.
was,
Really?
It wasn't like, you know, I was getting a paycheck or anything like that.
Yeah, it was
just
a
Yeah.
small, obviously a small company out of Philly.
The coolest thing was that they were working on a video, you know?
And
they
the
had
Philadelphia
opportunity.
Experiment video was very sick.
Oh, thank you, man. That's an obscure one, but yeah, we worked on that together, and it was a really fun project. We had a lot of fun filming, and
Yeah.
I was filming a lot of Vern's stuff, and Vern was filming me, and
Was that like the first thing you ever really filmed for? Did you film when you were younger at all? I guess this is like I don't know, cameras were a little harder to come by maybe, so...
I had an 8mm camera, you know. I had a little fisheye for it I was trying to film with, and I filmed a lot of stuff with the guy named Pat Corcoran.
Oh, okay.
Holy
Wow.
Philly
shit.
local. He was one of my good buddies, and I
Wow.
was filming him. I was going to be a filmer. And then it turns out nobody wants to fucking do anything on a skateboard, so I gotta fucking do it myself.
I mean, damn, Pat was sick.
No, but
Yeah.
Pat
Pat
was
was so
the
sick.
dude that was doing
He
it.
was doing stuff
And
on a
then Bill
skateboard.
Strobeck fucking swooped Pat out from
man.
under my
Oh,
fucking...
damn, he sniped you.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I
he
think
had a
I
real
think it worked
camera.
out for the better. I think Bill is pretty good at his job now, and
Yeah.
you're pretty good off at skating right now. So I think that worked out
Yeah.
for the better.
Yeah, I really did enjoy filming back in the day, and I would still
is.
enjoy
Yeah, it's
filming
fun.
now, but the challenge is finding somebody that's willing to try some challenging trick, with
Yeah.
me as the filmer.
Yeah.
And I don't have any confidence in my filming skills anymore.
We
you know
don't
what I
tell
mean?
them
Like,
that.
Forget it.
Yeah.
You got to be like, I got this. This is gonna look great, dude. You got it.
It doesn't matter, man.
And then in
People just
post,
want
you're like,
content.
man, I might have cut your head, maybe. I don't know.
You guys riding straight into traffic.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think we're gonna drive straight into traffic.
Drive straight in traffic.
So hanging out with Rick, Philadelphia experiment. How did that transfer into riding for traffic? How did that come about?
Well, I was riding for New Deal as a flow rider. There was Tim Ashiel was on the New Deal team, and
Sick.
Yeah, Tim's the best.
Did Rick at one point take you under his wing and he was like, "You're with me. Everything I do, you're doing." Not that direct,
not
but I just see it as like that.
There was a moment when I had finally gotten something. I did back nose blunt on the 3-stair ledge at Love,
Iconic,
yeah.
iconic.
Yeah.
and
That
Rick
is
called me
legend.
up, and he's like, if you're gonna have a skate career, this is gonna be the beginning of it. You know what I mean? And
That's
obviously, it really wasn't the beginning of any kind of career, but it was the beginning of having a lot of fun with skateboarding.
Mhm.
And so anyway, Ricky was the New Deal. He was riding for New Deal at the time, and he wanted me to be on New Deal. And I was on the flow team, and New Deal went out of business, and then Ricky started traffic, and he was naturally yeah, of course you got to be one of the first riders for traffic, And I was like, hey man, maybe we should spell it differently or something like that. But he was like, no, we're gonna spell it TRAFFIC. I was like, all right, let's do it. And yeah, we started to work on traffic video, you know what I mean? And that's when I kind of busted the camera out again and started trying to film stuff and try to make a video and try to show everybody what traffic is about. I mean, I knew what traffic was about.
Yeah.
Nobody else wanted to work on the video, and I came up on a VX camera, and next thing you know, I was trying to piece together the traffic video, but
About to say, yeah, I heard you had a nickname as the editor of all the traffic videos.
what's that?
Something big head, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Naked Big Head?
Yeah. Naked Big Head. What's up with that?
Naked Big Head. That doesn't have anything to do with traffic.
Oh.
I was staying with my buddy Jack and Brian Dale. They lived at 17th and Mount Vernon Street in
And
Philly.
Brian Dale, legend.
And they were both headed out of town, and I had the place to myself. And the upstairs neighbor, his name was Paul. Paul and Nagy. These are the guys living upstairs. Apparently started calling me Naked Big Head. And I was like, why? And they're like, oh, because he was walking around naked in the house. And I was kind of thinking to myself, I didn't have a towel, and I might have been kind of drying off a little bit. But, you know what I mean? I don't know anything about that. I mean, what did they repel down the balcony and look in the first floor window?
Yeah.
There's no way that they would have looked and seen it. So actually, they were bullshitting. But
The name.
anyway,
Did the name
Yeah.
ever stick, or was it just like a one and done?
I'm pretty sure Paul still calls me Naked Big Head. Paul is a brewer.
Oh, that's
Actually, one of the dudes that I was hoping would still be working in Philly that I could try to learn how to brew beer commercially with. But he moved down to Tampa right now, and he's starting his own brewery
that's cool.
down in Tampa at this moment. But yeah, Naked
Small
Big Head
world.
lives on. You know what I mean? I'm not naked right now, but Lord knows, got a big head. Ready?
So, Via.
That was the first traffic video.
That was the inaugural traffic video
It's a
that
good
we
one.
had to make it happen, and
You were the man behind the scenes.
we're
On that.
trying to connect all these dots.
Wait, so
and-
you edited Via?
Yes.
So you pulled a Jamie Thomas.
Yeah. Well,
You
we'll
gave
go
yourself
that
last
far.
far.
I mean, Jamie Thomas is doing pretty well in skateboarding.
Oh,
I think I'd be working a 14-hour day if I pulled a Jamie Thomas. I think I'd have a brewery right now. But yeah, you know,
I'm assuming
I
Rick pushed for that one.
I did my best to create a video that people would enjoy and
It's a good
would
one.
convey the feeling of traffic. And we may have grabbed on a little bit too many cars in that video, but you know.
Yeah, your
doing
last
my best.
clip you grab onto a 1999 Pontiac Bonneville, and I currently drive that same car, so I feel for that clip.
That's a classic.
Might have been my car at some point. I don't even know.
There's
yeah.
only one floating around.
Yeah,
the
who
tri-state,
knows who
so-
owned that at one point.
You gotta be careful putting your hands on cars, man. One time I got a finger stuck in the
Oh,
back of the hood of a
shit.
taxi.
Oh shit.
Luckily, I was able to pull it out of there before the thing took off.
Yeah, that shit's sketchy.
Dangerous.
But yeah, anyway, I mean, the traffic video was definitely a lot of fun to work with.
Oh, that
You know,
video.
we loved it. We loved making that video, and I have my friend Michael J. Fox, a filmer, gave me his
Back to the
old
Future.
fisheye lens, and it was a fisheye lens that used to belong to Dan Wolf, which I filmed the
Oh,
intro
legend.
to Via with.
That's sick.
I was going to Japan, and in the day before, it was like, we need an intro, and I was like, all right, I'm going to just push around by myself and grab on the cars
Oh,
and film and
sick.
shit.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
I sketched around the art museum and got like a pretty cool clip of like grabbing on a car and
Yeah.
like pushing it back and like pushing it forward and like letting go and flying ahead of it. That was always the best feeling, when you grab onto a car and you let go and you fly in front of the car.
Yeah, like beating them at their own game.
Yeah. Not that there's any kind of competition. or
Oh
anything,
yeah,
but
no, it's just like they're in a vehicle that's like made whatever.
Do you
to, like,
guys
go
ever
fast.
sketch on a car?
I
What's
did.
your greatest sketch
I did
story?
once, and I got real shook real quick.
I don't have anything too exciting. I just sketched cars down Broad Street, like after they repaved like Broad Street for the like papal visit
Broad
or
Street.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like I would
straight
just,
shot.
and it was like super smooth.
Mhm.
I would sketch like up
Broad Street was
from
so
South.
bad for so long.
Yeah, it used to be really fucking bad. But I would sketch up from South Philly, like on like whatever trucks, cars, whatever. But I do have a funny story. I'm gonna throw my friend RL under the bus. He was sketching.
Saw him last night.
Yeah, he was sketching our friend's car going down to Oregon Ledges, and because he used to live on South Broad, and we picked him up at his house, and he's like, "Nah, I won't get in the car. I'll just sketch you down there." Because whatever, he's at like Snyder or whatever, so only like a couple blocks to go. So he's sketching the back of the car. 5 minutes in, speed wobbles, just gets roasted. Like first spot of the, like on the way to the first spot, like loses control, like skids, like against the light, like we skirt and stop. Everybody's like,
Road
holy
rash.
shit, is this kid okay? He wasn't that fucked up, but it was just like an insane, like I was sitting shotgun, I saw it from like the whatever,
Side
like the,
view mirror,
yeah,
yeah.
so after that I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to sketch too much anymore.
Yeah,
It's
when-
fucking fun, but it's like your trucks start to fucking
When you're
go.
leaning on the car, you get a lot of stability from the car, and then
Yeah.
when you take your hands off of it, sometimes you can lose control because you're going faster than your trucks can handle. Really,
Yeah.
the best part about sketching is when you get ahead of your friends and you fucking sit there and wait for your friends to show up, and you're like, "What the fuck took you guys so long?" You know? And they finally show up, and you're like, oh, so you
Finally, yeah.
decided
Yeah.
to show up.
You're like King Dick of the
I'm trying to
sideshow
get
or
home, and you guys are just taking your sweet ass time, you know?
So, how soon after Via did you want to move to Japan? What made you want to move to Japan?
Well, one of the final thing about Via was I went to Japan and got a couple of clips for Via. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
okay,
Like,
yeah.
there was that part of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
What sparked you guys going out there? Was that was it just that like Rick had a following out there, or like what? Because I guess like I don't know. I feel like people weren't really going over there up until like Asia as a whole wasn't really like a skate destination.
Well, there's that bump over bar that Matt Pales did I'm sorry, it was Matt Field did a burial flip over a bump to bar, and I saw the photo. It was an iPath ad. Matt Field doing a burial flip over a bump to bar. I was like, I'm going to that bump to bar. I'm gonna buy a ticket to Japan. And I'm gonna find the fucking bump to bar. So I bought a ticket, went to Tokyo. Little did I know how fucking hard it would be to find one spot in a city of 30 million people. You know what I mean? I ended up seeing the spot 10 years later. You know what I mean?
Oh, no shit. You didn't find it when you went out there?
It took 10 years to find that goddamn spot.
Shit.
You know?
Is it the one that Jake Johnson switched no complied? Same one?
That is correct. That is the
Wow.
spot. So anyway,
Skater,
I wanted to go to that
skater,
spot.
shit.
Went out there and I booked the ticket. I didn't know anybody out there, but sure enough, Ricky has the dude that distributes traffic in Japan. His name is Habachin. Awesome dude. When I was flying out to Japan, Ricky emailed Habachin, and Habachin showed up at the airport with a traffic t-shirt slung over the railing. And I walked out and I was like, oh, this guy, you know? So I did not need to spend all my hard-earned money on a hotel or trains searching for the spot. Just ended up with Habachin and ended up skating a bunch of awesome spots and just having such a great time, meeting a bunch of awesome people, and didn't even give a shit about that spot that I was looking for at the end of the day because
Looks like there's a lot of shit up
there.
there.
A lot better spots out there, and just loved every minute of it, and it was like I gotta try to create some kind of livelihood out there.
Yeah. I guess, like, was this around the time that, like, Love was getting shut down? Like, were you just over Philly? Like, what
sparked you just going out there?
Yeah,
and having so much fun?
I've been to a couple places internationally to where I was like, fuck, I want to move here. But then, I mean, it takes a lot of commitment, obviously. So what was the final push to where you were just like, oh, whatever, I'm going to go for it?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say, but it was like, you know, I've been skating in Philly forever, and, you know, Love Park got shut down, and we could skate there, but it was such a bust. Everyone's trying to go on trips. Everyone's moving up to New York City. That was the thing. Everyone was moving to New York City.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, you know, I can't just move to New York City. It's too easy. I want to do something, you know, like original. I want to start something new. So I was like, I'm going to move to Tokyo. So I went out there and really tried to get a job teaching English out there, which you can do. I mean, anybody can do.
Yeah, that seems to be the move in, like, other countries is to get the English teaching job.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's easier than others. You know, like Spain's really hard to do, but someplace like Japan or China, like, you can do it. You know, you just need to have a college degree or go online and get, like, a fake college diploma.
How are they gonna know?
That'll work, you know what I mean?
They just want to see the piece of paper.
Yeah, exactly. They don't see your transcript. They just want to see the diploma. But I was like, yeah, I could do this. You know, it seemed pretty straightforward. I met some people out there that were doing it. They're like, yeah, make $30 an hour. I was like,
damn,
that sounds
that's
good to me.
sick.
You know what I mean?
I wish I could make $30 an hour teaching English.
Yeah, that sounds like a good gig.
Yeah.
It's not bad. You guys are making me regret coming back here. Yeah, certainly not bad. Not working 14-hour days when I was out in Japan. But, yeah, I went out there and I was able to create a livelihood and stayed out there for a solid 5.5 years.
Damn.
Crazy.
Time flies.
But at first I didn't get a visa. I had to was working with a sketchy Canadian dude. He's like, hey, why apply for the visa now? Just do your 3-month tourist visa and then plus the 12-month visa that I'm gonna sponsor you for. You got 15 months. Next thing you know, I applied for a visa with like 2 weeks left on my sightseeing visa. Got kicked out of Japan.
Oh, shit. Do you just have to come back to the States?
Well, I went to Korea once, came back and stayed for another 3 months, and then went back to the United States, and then came back to Japan, and then officially got kicked out. I couldn't stay there.
Oh, shit. So how did you go about, I guess, like, reversing that?
I came back to the United States for like a year and a half, and then went back to Japan, and then had like a 3-hour interview, and was like, they're like, if you were offered a job, would you take it? I was like, no.
Did you like prep beforehand, like know what to say? I gotta imagine that interview process is pretty intense. Like
No, but I made sure that I didn't bullshit them at all, because
Yeah.
they're like, how much money do you have? They're like, here it's written that you have $750. And I was like, they're like, can you count the money in front of me? I was like, okay, you know. They like, had like 730, and they're like, this dumb motherfucker. I was like, here's a 20 on the ground. Boom, 750.
damn,
So
dude.
slid in there, and then was able to apply for a job and get a job once I was physically there.
Okay.
And I knew the deal where you need someone to sponsor your visa right away. You can't just show up there and be like, oh yeah, we'll sponsor your visa in 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Like that's dumb. You know, you don't want to do that.
Dude sounded like he was hustling a little bit. Or
Yeah.
Trying to figure some sketchy shit out. I don't know.
He told me to wash my passport. When I went back to the United States, he's like, wash your passport. I was like, is this slang for something? He's like, no, like, put it in the washing machine and destroy it. I was like, you know, there's computers these days, you know what I mean? His name is Fred. Fuck you, Fred. Anyway, you can't wash your passport and fucking come back and then have a blank slate, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a record, you know, they
probably-
take your fingerprint and they take your picture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know you were there for too long.
They're probably not fucking around like that.
Anyway, he was pissed off that I didn't come back to work the next month when I got denied access to Japan and deported back to the United States. But, yeah, next time I went out there, somebody was waiting for me, you know, to interview
Yeah,
me.
you had like a proper setup.
And they got like a solid inch of paperwork on me. But,
Jeez.
yeah, I was able
Big
to
in
finagle
Japan.
my way back in there, and I got a job, and I was able to, like, create a livelihood, and came damn near to getting stuck out there forever.
Damn.
The
What were...
skateboarding scene was awesome. Kind of harsh, you know. Like, kids take a lot of your energy. You get home from work teaching kids, you don't want to skate anymore. You're just
Yeah.
exhausted, you know.
Yeah, they're... I mean, I don't have any kids that I know of, but I can imagine they're kind of a handful. So.
No, I mean, if they were your kids, you'd probably really enjoy it. But these are like random
Yeah.
fucking kids that are just being
some
dickheads. Oh my god. Yeah,
So
it was a long 5 years.
Are the kids what drove you back to the States?
No, I evolved from the kids to teaching adults. I was teaching business English.
Oh, wow,
On a
alright.
corporate NTK Spark
Oh,
Plugs.
you were
I was
suiting
going over
up?
there. I was in Denso. I was suiting up.
Wow.
I was getting
Damn.
like $50 an hour. I was
Holy
doing really
shit,
good.
that's a good deal.
I came very close to getting stuck. And that's when I was like, I gotta go back to the United States because this is dumb. I can't be out here for the rest of my life because as well as you speak Japanese, you will never fit in.
Do you
Do you
speak Jap?
fluent Japanese?
I'll speak Japanese, but I don't look Japanese. And when I walk into a business or something like that,
yeah.
people are like, oh, wow, you can use chopsticks? It's like, I've been living here for 5 years.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. Of course I can use
It's a
chopsticks.
pretty, it's a homogenous culture though, so
Yeah.
like it's not like the States where like I mean shit here is still whatever, you know, there are a lot of issues here, but it's a more mix of people as opposed to over there where foreigners are really, you know, you stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, this guy's drinking a beer on the train. Like, whoa, this is weird. It's like, well, I'm allowed to drink a beer on the train, so
You
I
can
might
drink a
as
beer-
well
you can
be
drink
drinking the
beer on the
goddamn
train?
train.
You
You know,
drink
like
beer.
I started doing it every day. And what I was doing is because I was making beer, I would put it in Coca-Cola, like a stout and like Coca-Cola bottles.
Oh yeah, that looks
And
the
then
same.
I'd crack it on my way home from work. It was like, look at this American guy just drinking, drinking a Coca-Cola.
Yeah. All
Sure
Americans
enough, you know
must
what I
be.
mean? But yeah, you'll never really fit in out there. But it's a great place to visit. Like, God bless Japan. Couldn't be a better place to visit.
One
Seems
day.
amazing. I mean, the skate scene out there seems really cool too. I mean, it sounded like you were gonna get into that a little bit, but I don't know. What is the skate scene there to you? Like, what I don't know. You were immersed in it. How is the skate scene there different than here? What do they have going on over there?
Well, it seems like there's like the street skateboarding thing is like fully alive, and people like they know about it. You know, like somebody came up to me and they're like, "I remember that picture you had in Thrasher ollieing over the chain to backflip." You know,
Yeah.
like I've never heard anybody that remember that, but you know, All right, so a lot of people want to know about like what was Japan about, like why did you end up in Japan or whatever. So when I went out there, I ended up meeting a lady in Japan, and she was pretty cool. She didn't speak the best English, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
She
you
didn't
can work
speak
around.
English well.
And she didn't speak English at all, you know. And we had like kind of like a correspondence. I would call her, she'd send letters, I'd send her letters. Like
How was
we were
she
in
doing
contact.
that? Was this the time where you could just use like Google Translate?
No, this is before smartphones. We were just communicating, like calling each other. Like Skype just came out, and it was like, hey. You know, but anyway, I was like, hey, can I stay with you for like 3 months? She's like, yeah, okay.
Damn,
What?
just like that.
So
she
I was like,
down?
Shorty was down.
Yeah, so
That's
I was
insane.
like, she's down, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going
It's a
out
wrap.
there for
It's a
3
wrap,
months,
yeah.
right?
Holy shit.
So next thing you know, I have a 3-month ticket. I go out there, and sure enough, I call her up. She's like, I'm going to China for business for a week, and I can't hang out. And I was like, wait a second, I thought I was hanging out.
But can I
She's
still
like,
hang
she's
out at
like,
your place?
I don't understand what you're saying. She didn't understand it. I was like, yeah, I thought I was staying with you, you know? And she's like, oh, sorry, I gotta go, you know? So next thing you know, I was on my own in Japan for 3 months, you know what I mean?
Oh,
It was the
shit.
fall of 2008. And I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? Luckily, I had gone out there before, and I have friends, Hribar and this dude Katsumi was like a really good friend that worked at a skate shop. And he's like, yeah, you can stay with me. And they like hung like a piece of fabric from the side of the room and like let me hang out like I had like a bedroom in the corner of the living room. And this was like, I was like, hey, sorry guys, like I thought I had a place to stay. And I'm like, hey,
yeah,
Lord
kind of a
knows,
couple
like
thousand miles away from home. There's not really much I can do.
3-month ticket, like not enough money to change it. You know, like it is what it is. And it ended up being like a point in my life when like like of course getting a job mattered and stuff like that.
Mhm,
But
yeah.
like the number one thing was like skating. Like
Yeah,
skating
fuck
was
it.
the only thing that mattered anymore. I was working on editing this traffic Tokyo transfer video.
Oh,
that
fuck.
video
I was
Classic.
working on that, and these guys are all, you know, these guys are like skating. You know, they finished. My buddy was working for Endy's. He'd finish work at like 6 o'clock and sleep for a few hours, and then we'd go on a midnight mission, skate all night, and come back into it. You know what I mean? I'd sleep all day, feeling like such a piece of shit. You know, like not doing anything. Everyone's
Yeah.
working, and I'm like sitting there all day, like kind of like, oh, I guess I should skate or something. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, skateboard was the only thing that was important, and I fucking skated every fucking day for 3 months. And we filmed a part for a video called Night Prowler that Katsumi had edited and came out with. And I was originally I was trying to film for a traffic video part, but you know everybody is filming for their own project. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean. He was filming for Night Prowler. Luckily, we had enough footage to make like a semi full
sick,
part,
yeah.
and you know that came out, and that was kind of like my foot in the door of Japan. And Night Prowler became like kind of like a typical street skateboarding in Japan video. It flows really good, and I'm really psyched that I was a part of that. And from there, you know, just things keep on continuing to go on, you know, from that.
Yeah, it seems like Japan's skating has a really unique aesthetic to it. There's like whether it's like quick foot shit or like the way things are filmed or edited, it seems like there's like they have like a distinct style.
I feel like they really take from the East Coast style and
Yeah.
then like put their own spin on top of it.
Yeah, they have like their own unique interpretation of like what, I don't know, it seems like they were really heavily influenced by like Ricky and Eastern Exposure
definitely.
and all of that, which is cool.
But what did Sebak say? Ricky's big in Japan, right?
No doubt about the East Coast had a full on impact on Japan. They call a pole jam a poli. They call it
poli?
poli. Poli is the name, like Wally, like
Yeah.
Poli is the name
that's
for a
cool.
pole
That
jam.
That
makes
makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've taken ownership of the trick. You know what
Yeah.
I mean, basically, and they enjoy it. But I think that another part of Japanese skateboarding is a little bit of comedy involved in it. You know what I mean? Like the
Really?
ridiculous shit. Like you see a spot, and you're like, what if you did a nose bonk on this? You know, and everyone's like
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
like snickering.
shit.
It's like there's like a dead serious like comedy aspect to it, and there have been a few videos out in Japan that have been straight up comedies that are like just like making fun of like how like
makes so much more sense now. I think looking at some Japan shit,
like nerding out, like over the top, like quick ollie over the top, like this is like meant to put a smile on your face more than it is to get you to skate.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
That's sick.
Yeah, there's like one, I think it's a tight booth video, but there's like a clip from a Japanese video where they're all dressed up as like pool balls.
Oh yeah, where they're wearing different colors.
Yeah, and that shit was like, I remember seeing that for the first time. I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. But then I watched it again. I was like, oh shit, that's really cool. Like I don't know. It just seemed like they put a lot of time and effort into like.
It's made to make you smile. It's not made to be like, oh, this is sick.
Oh yeah.
It's like, hey, let's see how like nerdy we can get
about
with this and how
skating,
ridiculous we could make this.
I think
like,
it's cool. I think it's really cool. That's sick.
There's something in Japanese they say otaku is like just a nerd, like a geek that knows shit. Like that dude that was like, oh, you ollied over the chain to back lip. You know what I mean? An American person that remembered that wouldn't say it just because it's so nerdy.
Yeah.
But these people are like, they're like, I'm fucking into this hobby. I'm
invested
in it 100%.
That makes sense.
I remember that shit, and we could go anywhere from here. You know
That's cool. That's cool that they're like embracing the fact that they know shit. I feel like here it's cool to like not know anything. Like the less you know, the cooler you are. I don't know. Just it's cool that they're at least like they're into something. They embrace it. They're down with it. They're not just like moving on to the next thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. They got a lot of cool shit over there.
But you've seen Go Miyagi. I mean, that dude is a fucking comedian. You know what I mean? Like
he does some insane shit,
man. He's
man.
pretty serious. He's dead serious, but at the same time, he's funny.
Hey, did you like meet
you
that
see
dude?
Put his board in between his legs and fucking flapping around and shit like that.
Oh yeah, there's that shit. But then there's also like he grinds those crazy wave flat bars where it's like, how the fuck do you
it's like
keep
the balance?
Yeah.
The balance of both, where it's just like, I'm going to show you something funny that I think is funny, and I hope you do too. But look, I can actually do cool shit.
But I mean, quick ollie, like how ridiculous is the quick ollie? Like, I mean, come on, like it's not something that like you do for fun. It's like quick ollie to something. It's like a pain in the fucking ass, but it's there's a little bit of like a kind of like a humor to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you're like, let me show you this fucking quirky shit, you know what I mean? And maybe you get motivated off it, but maybe not, but whatever. There's a part of the Japanese skateboarding that is definitely like humorous.
I think it's cool. I think it's a unique, I don't know, it's a non-traditional approach, I guess. And I think that's cool.
Put their own spin on it,
Yeah, they have their own.
Something unique to them. Yeah,
because it's like here in the States at least, it's only like progression to a certain extent. It's like, how big can I go? How long can I grind? How tech can I get? But over there,
views on Instagram.
But over there, it seems like, you know, they're more focused on like the nuances or whatever. The like, I don't know. I think this shit's crazy. There's one dude, he had a part, and I think the most recent Tight Booth video, he like, can't remember his name, but he
did a lip-sided kickflip out of it.
Yeah, that dude. That shit is insane. It's funny that you even knew what I was talking about. Like,
of course he knows what you're talking about.
That dude
I know about it.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah, it's like the idea, like ideas of like the dude's name is Semi. He's from Kyushu. Yeah. Semi Miyahara.
That dude's part is amazing.
That dude is really sick. He continues to be sick, and Every Sen is going to come out with a video soon that's going to be sick.
That company's really cool. They do a lot of really cool shit.
They do. They have an awesome graphic designer. The same dude, Hamaguchi, made the Burnt Cat graphic. Guys,
nice.
One day I'll have a Burnt Cat beer company, but at this point, I'm just talking about how awesome the Japanese skateboard scene is, you know what I mean, and how Semi Miyahara and these guys are they're entertainers, you know what I mean? It's not just about it's not about showing somebody up or being a superhero. It's about being funny, being entertaining, and doing something cool for a camera, and spending a lot of fucking time to film it too. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of time invested in that shit.
Yeah. So what brought you back to the States? When did you make that transition and why?
Because it sounds like Japan's pretty amazing. And Philly, I mean...
Yeah, it sounds like you didn't want to
I
come
love living
back.
here, but...
Dude, it's shitty. When you come back from Japan, Philly is fucking a piece of shit. Dude. I came back to like Dallas. I had to take a shit. It was like I went to the bathroom. It was a fucking nightmare, dude. Like I saw some dude like rip some paper towels off and walk into a stall. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, what am I doing back in the United States? Like seriously, there were a lot of times I was like, what the fuck am I doing back here in the United States? Because it's fucking shit compared to Japan.
You had to convince the lady to come back with you, huh?
She was pretty down.
She was
dude.
down?
She like
That's
has this
good.
like New York like pie in the sky idea.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, the big
That's-
red apple, yeah.
Yeah,
But
everybody's
yeah,
got
I mean,
that.
it's a fucking splash of cold water coming back to the United States after living in Japan, dude. That shit was fucking tough, dude. Luckily, I was able to maintain the same house that I was living in before.
The
you know
Wall
what I
Street
mean?
house
Come
lives,
back-
man.
Yeah.
But yeah, for real, like in Japan, you can drink beer anywhere at any time. You can use a bathroom at 7-Eleven.
Bathrooms.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
7-Elevens have
That is
bathrooms.
one thing
I don't want
about-
to sound like Donald Trump, but the bathrooms are fucking beautiful in Japan. Beautiful. Beautiful.
The
Everything's
greatest
perfect.
bathrooms there
Greatest
ever was.
Fucking door goes all the way down to the ground. You know,
That's-
your
yeah.
own room.
That's
you know what I
something
mean?
that's like only in the States is like that. I noticed that shit at work. Like there's like a 3-inch gap between the door and like this.
Well, just let you know
support
that
wall.
someo's in there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I can almost see, like make eye contact with them, and that's like.
You can fully make eye contact.
Yeah, I don't wanna
because
fucking do that.
Of fucking crackheads, dude. If there's a crackhead in the toilet cracking out, you know what I mean? Someone's got to
Cracking
know.
out.
Someone's
You
got
gotta
to figure it
see-
out. You know, someone's
Jeez.
crackhead in there. Fucking kick him out. You know,
Yeah.
call the cops or whatever.
There's like nowhere. There are no like public bathrooms in the States like don't exist. It's insane. Like you don't want to go piss in the corner of a spot, but it's like. Am I gonna pee my pants because I gotta go? Yeah, I don't know.
It's
mean,
hard to
I'll
go
pee at the corner
skateboarding.
of a
Like
spot.
there's like a chance you gotta take a shit. Like New York City.
Oh, yeah.
You're like kind of like I
Dude,
ate
that's
like
why-
that egg and
Biggest
cheese
anxiety about
sandwich,
going skating.
You know what I
That's
mean?
why
Like,
you
should I
gotta
take
get-
a shit first?
That's why you gotta get on the. Yeah, that's why you get on the routine, man. Like in the morning, I have my breakfast, I have my coffee, and I have my cigarette, and I'm fucking shitting. Right after, as soon as that cigarette's done, it's like, go. And
Yeah,
it's,
but
and it's
Japan,
out.
you don't need that routine. At any point, if you gotta take a shit,
There's always a place to do it.
That sounds like
place
paradise.
to take a shit.
That's like my biggest anxiety about going skating is like I'm not leaving or just leaving the house in general. It's like I'm not leaving unless I've taken a shit because I don't have a car, so I bike everywhere. So it's like I don't want to be like halfway biking to work and it's like I gotta go.
Yeah, where
'Cause
you
what
gonna
the
go?
fuck am I
You're
gonna
sneak
do?
into a hotel. You're sweaty as shit. You're holding
Yeah.
a skateboard.
I do go to the.
Like, I mean, shit, dude. It's a fucking problem, man. Especially in New York City. Philly, too, man. It fucking sucks. Luckily, I live right next to Municipal, so I can hold the shit.
Yeah, you're close. I usually, if I'm in Muni and I gotta go, I go to the Ritz-Carlton that's right on like Broad Street, south of City Hall. There's like one entrance you can get in. It leads right to the bathrooms. You don't have to make eye contact
Probably the
with
nicest
anybody.
bathroom in Center City.
It's dope, yeah.
See,
Ritz-Carlton.
Shout out to
You-
Ritz-Carlton.
You don't need to know this shit to fucking live in Japan. You can just fucking go anywhere.
Literally,
You're
don't
like,
need to know this
you're
shit.
like, oh, there's a Lawson. I'm gonna take a shit. Lawson, 7-Eleven, fucking Family Mart, whatever.
So your transition to Philly has been kind of rough then.
No,
No, I'm just
things
kidding.
are smoothed out, dude.
Well, that's good.
Shit smoothed out.
Dude, I worked 14 hours today, dude. You know what I mean?
And we got you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming.
I take a shit at home now in the morning, just like you. I drink coffee,
yeah.
take a shit in the morning, leave the house, and hold it for the rest of
hold
the
it,
day
and you
until
get
the next
home.
morning.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Coffee does it, man.
Works like a charm.
So
So,
how's it like being back in the States?
Oh, back in the States, it's awesome because
Sick,
everybody's
back in
fucking
Philly.
awesome, really good at fucking skateboarding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Crazy
I
how
went
like
to
the
Municipal.
scene, yeah.
It's like
shit that
switch
you
backside tailside is like nothing. You know what I mean? Out in Japan, it was like if somebody did backside tailside, it's like whoa, backside tailside. Municipal, nothing.
every day, yeah.
So at first it was kind of intimidating because
Mm.
like I didn't know anybody. I used to know everybody there.
But I'm sure people like
people
knew
yeah.
you though, right?
Not really.
If you didn't want to
Really?
be that guy that's like, oh, I'm
No,
this,
I don't know.
I'm that.
I don't think so. I rolled up. The only people I know, I saw Kevin Taylor and Jimmy Chung. I was like, oh hey, some people I know. Hey guys.
Two fucking
The OGs.
legends.
Yeah. Those guys are awesome.
They're awesome.
Best
Jimmy
styles.
Chung is probably my best friend now that I'm.
That's sick.
I listened to
buddy.
his interview with the 500 Degrees Fahrenheit podcast, and he mentions that you guys are going out and skating. It's sick. That's really cool. Jimmy's a good guy. I don't know him that well, but just seeing him out, he's cool as shit, and he rips. So it's
Yeah.
sick.
Really psyched.
All I've noticed is that I'm fucking 24, and every day you're posting a photo of something that you shot of someone or that someone shot of you, and I'm just fucking sitting on my couch like, God damn, this dude's out skating every fucking day. What am I doing? Like,
You're more productive.
What the fuck?
Than,
He's so productive, and I'm
95%.
just like sitting on my couch like, yeah, I'm gonna drink a couple of beers, hang out.
No, I was trying to shoot photos out in Japan. I had some buddies that I was like, yeah, let's shoot this photo, and probably my best friend in Japan was this guy Shinsaku Arakawa, who's a photographer, and we would drive around and stuff like that, and he was really like. He didn't encourage my photography at all. He was like, you should skate, Rich. You know, like, forget about photography. Like, you need to skate, you know, which is cool, you know what I mean? And I appreciate it. I got a bunch of cool photos with the dude, but, of course, if someone's doing something cool, he's going to shoot the photo because he's way better at it than me.
Yeah.
And he's got way better equipment than me. He's well prepared, and that's what he's there for. And then when I came back here, it was like, hey, there's nobody shooting a photo of this awesome trick. And it was like, hey, like, you mind if I take a picture of this? And everyone's like, kind of like, oh, that's cool. I was like,
Who's this guy?
wait a second, like, there's nobody fucking shooting photos of
Yeah,
anybody
there has
here?
been,
Yeah,
like,
Really?
the photographer job in Philly has been real
It's been
for a
a
while.
lapse,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like Francis is around now, which is cool.
Yeah, he
I
works
heard
a lot.
I heard Xander's moving back to the city,
That'd be cool. Yeah.
but I
he's
mean
really
we
talented.
got Rich, so we don't need no fucking.
Sanders
Xander.
got nothing.
Yeah, we don't need no fucking Xander. We got Rich.
Throwing some serious shade right now. Yeah.
No, but Xander, let's shoot some photos soon.
That'd be sick.
No doubt
A new
about
Rich
it. But,
photo with Xander.
but
That'd be sick.
no, it's been a huge opportunity to shoot photos of people, and it's really fun to just not have any pressure about it, and it's just
Yeah.
a hobby. And
So if you mentioned earlier that you film most of the traffic video, if not all of it. So you've been filming. Like, was photography always kind of like hand in hand with that, or is that something you kind of came into later? Did you always like have a camera out and about? Was that something you always were into?
I really liked it. Like I said before, it's hard to get people to skate, you know what I mean, if they're not already doing it. You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey, do this trick. Like, people don't like
It's
to
hard
do
to
that.
tell someone to do something. Yeah.
So
it happened
it-
organically.
It becomes easier, especially with the spots that I tend to choose. It seems to be like everyone's like, fuck this, you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, you know, you could do, you know, and everyone's like, kind of like, yeah, I don't want to skate. And then eventually it comes to the point where it's like, all right, guys, I'm going to fucking skate it myself, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have to do this.
Yeah.
My fucking hefty fucking fat ass
Oh,
is going to have
yeah,
to fucking
right,
lift out of the
right,
ground
yeah,
and fucking try to boost up onto some shit, you know what I mean?
So, back in the States, shooting photos, downtown all the time, more productive than my young ass. How is filming for the new traffic video going? How's that?
It's going all right. The one challenge is that everything has to be filmed with a VX camera, and sometimes I film stuff with a digital camera or whatever, and there are different challenges, but things are building slowly but surely.
Yeah, I'm psyched to see a new traffic
Yeah, I think
video.
everybody is.
I'm more of a one trick kind of person. Like, I'll do one trick,
One-trick
not
pony.
like a line. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, you
I'll
got
do
a couple
one
good lines
trick and
in
like
you.
Yeah,
we'll
you got
just
some
like
good
stack a
lines
bunch
throughout.
of one tricks. You know what I mean? But I'm hoping to come up with something significant. By the time that it hits the printers or the internet or whatever.
Yeah, they keep hitting with the coming soon.
Yeah, I've
coming
seen on
soon. So
Instagram,
I don't
it's gonna
know.
happen.
I'm very psyched to see
Yeah, it'll be really cool.
what it's like. Yeah, I'm very psyched to see. a
No, it's
traffic
no
video.
joke. There's a lot of good riders. Hiroki Moroka, that dude came out
Yeah,
with.
you recruited a couple of Japan dudes, right? While you were out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Deshi's
did.
killing it. This
Deshi
dude
is
Hiroki
sick.
is
That dude
Deshi
rips.
is sick.
Deshi rips.
Yeah, Deshi is
that
no
your
joke.
guy?
You guys
That's
don't know
sick.
about Hiroki. Hiroki is an
Yeah,
I've
awesome
heard
dude.
briefly, but I haven't.
I don't
like,
think I've seen
physically
too
seen.
much,
Yeah.
This is the king of quick ollies. Like,
Okay.
This guy is like, it's funny, you know what I mean? But it's
I think
serious.
that shit's hard, man. I
Yeah.
got big feet.
If you do anything
slow.
right, it doesn't
Yeah, I
matter.
don't know. Yeah.
The guy's an artist too. He created my first pro graphic. He drew it.
Really?
Sick.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really
really
cool.
like a kind of a family member out there. Like I can't overstate how like close I was with people and how hard it was for me to move out of Japan because
Yeah.
I had created like this network of people that was like super close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like when I was moving back to Japan, or when I was moving back from the United States, these people were like, "You can't do it."
Aw.
And I was like, no, for real, like I'm moving back to the
Uh.
United States. Like, I mean, we're like really good friends. My friend Shinsaku and Hiroki and Hitoshi from Kanazawa and this guy Daichan and Habuchin and just like I couldn't even start to name everybody. Habuchin's wife, Yoshie, is fucking awesome, you know, great people. Yuzo and Louis and just like endless stream of people that were like, you can't move back. And I was like, I gotta brew beer. I gotta learn how to brew beer. I'm maybe gonna start a brewery in Japan, you know.
Is that your...
Is that the goal? Is that the goal in the U.S. is to learn how to do everything A to Z with brewing beer and taking it back to Japan?
That's what I told all my friends out in Japan, yeah.
But is
But
that
who
your
knows?
actual goal?
It is, but you know, once
You
you're
never know
back
what's
here,
gonna
it's kind of
happen,
like,
yeah.
what's gonna happen? You know, I hope so. But here it's awesome, you know. Like I like being back in Philly. You know, I like skating. I like going to Municipal and seeing
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, it's a good place to kind of catch up and see. You always know people are going to be there. Like, you don't have to
Yeah.
hit anybody up. Like, if you want to skate, you can go there.
Yeah.
If it's on the weekend, even during the week now, shit, there are most likely people there skating after a certain point. So, it's cool.
Yeah, but you know, imagine after 5 years if I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna move back to Japan. Everyone's
Yeah.
gonna be a little bit bummed, kind of like, hey, what did we let you down? We didn't give you enough of an experience of like life
Yeah.
and skateboarding and everything that you need to like fulfill your desire for skateboarding. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's, I don't know. I guess I have no idea how it feels because I've never been in that situation. But, I mean, I can imagine, like, you were raised in the United States, like, you know the United States, so, I mean, it only makes sense to come back. Even though Japan sounds amazing, like, shit, I'm about to, like, once we get out of here, I'm about to go home and book a ticket and bail on all my responsibilities.
Yeah,
Might
what
as
was- what was your homie's name? We're about to hit him up and
those
stay with
people out
him,
there,
yeah.
you're gonna hang out with them. But no, it is a real situation where I had a lot of really fucking great friends. I still do have a lot of great friends, and I've got to keep in contact with them and try to like, you know, like what do? You know,
Yeah.
Well,
I gotta learn how to make beer. I'm not gonna learn how to make beer out in Japan.
Yeah, so how did the beer brewing thing come about? Is that, I mean, shit, most skateboarders at least, or most people in general, really like drinking beer, but how, like, when did you realize that that you wanted to be on the other end of that, like the actual beer making process? When did that become something you were interested in?
Well, I went out to Japan in 2006 when I was filming for the Via video.
Yeah.
And I hyperextended my big toe, which is called turf toe, which is like some gnarly like.
I've heard that expression before, but I never knew what it was.
It's basically when you bend your big toe too far back.
Oh, jeez.
It kills some tendon that goes, or like it's some unique situation where you
Yeah.
can't skate. I didn't skate for 8 months.
Holy
So I
shit.
came back to the United States and I was like, I gotta brew some beer. You know what I mean? I gotta start
Something
this
to
new
do,
hobby.
yeah.
You know, something to do.
Yeah.
So started brewing beer and you know, the hobby went nuts. You know what I mean? Bought like 35-gallon glass bottles and started brewing beer
So
like
you got
crazy.
into it pretty quick.
And
It
then
just
went out to
kinda
Japan and was
snowballed.
trying to tell my buddies about it, and they're like, you know, it
You're
sounds
crazy,
cool, but
yeah.
whatever, you know what I mean? And then I was
Yeah.
finally able to establish myself and actually brew beer out in Japan and get to the point where I was the same as in Philly, where people are like, you should sell this, you know? And when I was in Philly, it was like, yeah, I should sell it, you know, and it's like there's a path that you can go to do that. But in Japan, it was like, you should sell this. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like order all the equipment to make it. And one of my students out in Japan is a super cool guy that does the pachinko business. It's like the gambling machines.
Yeah,
And this
I heard about that.
this guy has money, and he invested in like a coffee farm in Vietnam, and he was like
Vietnamese coffee.
like we were talking about exchange
Yeah.
rates. You know, I was like, yeah, man, like it went down to like 116 yen for $1, and this guy was like, yeah, I lost $40,000 this week.
Holy shit.
Because it went down from 120 to 116. And I was
So he's
like,
playing all
well, I'm
types
pretty
of
psyched
games.
about it because like I'm gonna send money home and like kind of makes
Yeah.
you know like kind of do all right. And this guy was, you know, he over time he expressed. I worked with him and his wife every week teaching them English, and over time he was like, let's start a beer company. And I was like, dude, like I don't know what to buy, you know. Like, I could bullshit you, and I could try to do it, but, like, I don't know what to buy.
Yeah.
You know, I need to learn how to do this. So I came into the United States with that goal, which is a more challenging goal than you might imagine it to be.
I mean, you want to do anything on a commercial scale, it's got to be tricky, so...
But yeah, if you wanted to learn how to bake a cake, you could learn how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to learn how to brew beer, there's like 100 people lined up outside of the brewery that want to work there for free without even getting paid.
Damn.
So that was a big challenge, and luckily I was able to get into some packaging situation where I'm working in packaging. But like I told you guys earlier, like it's hard work. You know, I got to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I don't finish until 10 o'clock at night sometimes.
Yeah, but you got to
So
figure...
annoying.
You're learning the process, then when you go back over there to like whatever, get the brewery off the ground, you'll already know what's going on. I mean, you gotta figure these things, like the sacrifices you make now will then
Have payoffs.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know.
there's my buddy Hiroki, we went to a shrine together in Japan, and there's like this, like, it's called a kuji, and like, it's like kind of like you shake something and it gives you like a fortune kind of thing. And the fortune was like so you like the path that you choose is fucking ragged as shit and covered in thorns and stuff like that, but you just gotta fucking go for it. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
well there you go,
And
man.
I read it and
You're
I was
feeling,
like, yeah, Hiroki, I'm going back to the United States, and like, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. And
Yeah.
sure enough, it's a fucking thorny ass fucking path, dude. You know what I mean?
Well, man, I think you're doing pretty well though. I see you downtown all the time. You're shooting sick photos, working on the traffic video, learning how to do your own brewing company. You have a sick, iconic name, Burnt Cat, sick logo. I think you'll be just good, dude.
Yeah,
Well, thank
maybe,
you, man. And I get free beer, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Oh.
this is like every
Yeah,
day
you
I
hooked
come
us
home with
up.
beers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
2 pills.
Yeah, 2SP,
Two
2SP
SP.
beer is in the house. Full on, but
Shout out.
Maybe we can get a sponsorship deal working out. I don't know.
yeah, with Burnt Cat. One day, one of these
One day,
days.
yeah. One
Yeah.
day we'll be
Cat
sponsored by
team,
Burnt
dude.
Cat.
So we both know what Burnt Cat means, but I guess, I don't know, whoever is going to listen to this eventually will probably, it may not know. So what does Burnt Cat mean? What does it mean to you? What is Burnt Cat? Why Burnt Cat?
So what Burnt Cat is a secret spot. We used to call it 12th and Carpenter, but everyone
Chris
found
Mathis
out where it was.
used to live there.
Yeah, a lot of people live around there, but it was called 12th and Carpenter, and then everyone found out about it, and then we had to try to keep it on the DL, so we called it Burnt Cat because there was a dead cat there that was in a trash bag, and somebody had set the trash bag on fire, and it smelled like hell, and it was, you know, the spot got called Burnt Cat.
Sounds like Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, it's an endearing term, you know, God bless that cat, but But yeah, anyway, burnt cat is just like it's a word for somebody who's beat at the end of the day, and who wants to drink a beer more than a burnt cat? You know what I mean? When you're burnt, all a burnt person wants to do is just pick up a beer.
Yeah, after a long day at work.
Yeah, people that don't drink, they want to drink a water or something like that. But they're still burnt. You know what I mean? They're feeling.
Everybo's
burnt.
felt
Eyes
burnt.
are a little bit red, feeling a little bit weary.
Everybody's
you know
been burnt at one point in their life.
So that's the idea, that burnt cat is just kind of personifies the feeling of being worn out after work and wanting to drink a beer. You know what I mean? It's kind of a working person's beer, and it's a working person's skateboard spot because it used to be a really nice park in the middle of a really bad neighborhood. And now what has happened is it's a really shitty park in the middle of a really nice neighborhood.
Yep.
Everybody's really rich around there now.
Yeah, that seems to be a common theme throughout Philadelphia. Is the spots or whatever get shittier, but the neighborhoods around them, the property value skyrockets. So it's like it's a total outlier. You're at a spot and you're like, what the fuck is this thing even here for? But
yeah, there was a story about people getting the shit beat out of them with hula hoops. Some ghetto kids beat the shit out of these people. And Shane from Sub-Zero was among them. A broken hula hoop. Fucking people got the shit beat out of them at Burnt Cat at night. That's why you didn't go to Burnt Cat at night back in the day, but now it's cool.
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, they're like townhomes all around that neighborhood now.
There's a studio right next to it now, too.
But the ground fucking sucks. Nobody skates there anymore because it's fucking shitty.
The ground is bad. The
ground used to be good.
I find that.
I believe it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
think a meteor hit and there's like a new spot there. Like
I was about to say, I don't want to blow up the
secret spot.
I've
heard through the
Cat's back.
I've heard there's something there right now that makes the spot a little more special than
I heard through the grapevine that somebody wanted to keep it under wraps, but it's a well-known spot, so it's kind of out there now.
Well, yeah, I'm wearing a fucking T-shirt that says "Burnt Cat," man. I was trying to, I stumbled upon that secret spot, but there's nothing secret about Burnt Cat. It's Fulton Carpenter.
Well, damn, Rich, thank you for hanging out with us today, telling us your story.
Yeah.
I wish Burnt Cat the best. Can't you see the traffic video?
Very excited for both of
We're
those
psyched
things.
you're back in the States, man.
Yeah,
Happy to have you here. I want to see more fucking photos that you're shooting at Muni. Those photos are sick.
They are very
sick. I forward those
sick.
photos every day on Instagram.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, keep them coming.
Thank you, man.
Do some more stuff. Well, good stuff, man.
Dude.
CDY, baby.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks, Rich.
I think that'll do it.